Morning, everyone. Another beautiful day here in Barcelona. To catch everyone up on what has been happening, we have had quite the past few weeks. Well, days really, I guess, since the last time we checked in. The name of the game recently has been working on pricing and getting real-world customer feedback. But real quick, check out where we're walking. Pretty cool. Over the past few days, we've really been focused on trying to figure out if our offering is actually valuable to the customers that we think it's going to be valuable to. So that has meant a lot of conversations with different people who own bars, restaurants, nightclubs, tour companies, boutiques, all kinds of stuff, and really trying to figure out what's the most valuable to them. Now, one of the things I find the most difficult is that, you can always go to your customers to ask for their feedback and their input, but getting genuine answers from them and getting them to actually put their money where their mouth is are two different things. A lot of people will tell you, yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, I want that. But actually getting them to commit and put money behind something is totally different. I was reading a book the other day, and by reading, I mean listening to, a book called Never Split the Difference. One of the main takeaways, well, not main takeaways, but one of the most interesting takeaways I got from it was most people, whenever they say fine or good or you're right, don't agree with whatever you just said. They're just being polite and trying to get out of the situation. So I've been super cognizant of that as I've been talking to various business owners. And it's led us down some pretty interesting paths, in all honesty. For example, this week, I learned that most local business owners don't approach client acquisition the same way a lot of digital business owners do, in that they have virtually no desire to engage past customers to bring them back in the door, even though countless studies have showed that it's much cheaper to bring someone back as a customer if you did a good job than it is to get someone new in the door. They don't seem to care about that, which I found massively interesting. Additionally, their desire to directly communicate with people isn't the same as what we might expect. It's just interesting that when you have the opportunity to get data on something and to better understand your customer, a lot of people will simply choose to just kind of keep flying by the seat of their pants. They take an approach where they say, well, it's been working for me thus far. Why mess with the system? It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy. I don't really have a desire to do better. And that, to me, is something I have never understood. If there's an opportunity to be better, I would think I would want to. And we're not talking about like cheap businesses. We're talking about like nightclubs where people are paying 15, 20 euros a drink. Like, these guys make money. They're selling tables on the weekend, and the amount of money that they're willing to spend on something is like $10, $12. That is stunning to me. But all this feedback is good, and I would rather know it while we're in the development phase than to understand it later after we've spent all this time and money building something and then build something that people don't actually want. The other thing that's kind of difficult for us is we have to figure out if all this input is actually representative of the market at large, or if these are just a couple of business owners who don't necessarily represent the actual market at large. So in addition to figuring out what the offering is going to be in terms of the data we're going to present to different businesses, we also really needed to figure out how are we going to price this stuff. And there's a couple of models on the market already that seem interesting to us. There's the basic subscription where it's just kind of a flat fee per month, and we build people for things. We build them for access, we build them for data, we build them for the ability to communicate with customers, just for being a part of the platform. I personally don't like that so much because I don't feel as though there's an alignment of values. And what I mean by that is there is no, like, we don't do any better when our customers do better. And I always kind of like having an upside when our customers benefit. And I like being able to tell them, hey, if we don't do a good job, we're not making anything. So that kind of led us to the idea of having people pay for points. And this is already proven, like there are a couple of businesses that do this. We've really tried to refine our idea around how this would work. And I think we finally might be on to something. So the idea that we've had most recently, which is a little bit different than we had before, is to enable the businesses essentially to bid and set their own price in terms of points for what they're willing to spend. We will tell the businesses, this is the price per point that you're going to pay our company. You, business, can set a price in points per action taken by a user or a consumer. So, what that could mean is business A could say, hey, I want to give 5 points per visit. Each time someone comes in, I want to give them 5 points. Now within the app, there'll be a section called Discovery where users are going to be able to figure out which businesses in my local area offer points and how much am I going to get for visiting. In turn, if business B was nearby and it was similar and competitive, they could look and see that business A is offering 5 points per visit. And they could say, I'm going to offer 10 points per visit. Now we, as our company, will make money each time points are given out. We might create a marketplace in terms of point compensation for consumers, which I think could be massively interesting. I mean, there's a couple of priorities that are all happening at the same time. We got to figure out the process for onboarding, the process for actually interacting on both the user side and the merchant side, how we're actually going to charge and make money, like what the actual offering is in terms of information shared. So I'll keep you guys in the loop with how things go, but it looks like it's going to be an interesting couple months.